Good morning, day 6 of our Ponta Membene adventure. We have had quite a slow start. We have just had some breakfast and multiple cups of beverages, and we're deciding what we want to do for today.
Probably go to the beach.
Yeah, we have actually not seen many coastal birds. We saw one yesterday, but we didn't know what it was. It could have been a plover, could have been a
Sandpiper.
sandpiper, could have been a lot. But we didn't have binocs, didn't have a camera, so we can't really say. I also saw a crane, but also didn't really know.
A heron.
Heron. So we might go down to the beach, try to find something over that side. And yeah.
Welcome back to the final episode of our Mozambican adventure. Thank you to everyone who has stuck around for every episode. We really appreciate your support. In this episode, join us for some rare sightings of animals and birds. But first, some ecology lessons with Mr. Tam.
Here we have a piece of coral which has washed up on the beach, which we have not collected from the water itself. And interestingly, you can see a little cross section of where the zooplankton and the algae sort of live in these little vestibules and cracks. And they create these pipes. They tend to make like a calcium carbonate skeleton. You can see it's like nice and white. Anyway, this will go back into the ocean now. So we have gone to the beach and we have come south of the entrance, and you can see that this is quite low tide, and there is some rocks here. So going to explore that a little bit. This is a coral outcrop. You can see it's made up of organic little tube worms, and it's very different to the rock that I'm standing on. That is a live example of what we saw that was dead on the beach earlier. What is interesting is that predominant colors that we see on corals are like oranges and yellows and reds. That's because of the fact that they're in water, and water refracts light and absorbs light differently to on land. So often you'll see plants on land green because of the fact that light doesn't absorb as much of the light.
A little snorkeling rewarded us with the sighting of many silver fish, and a walk along the beach offered up plenty of crabs along the shoreline. We also saw this white-fronted plover scuttling across the sand. And on our way back from the beach, we were treated to another sighting of a snake. We couldn't identify it, so we kept a safe distance away. We then did a little birding around camp and found some lifers for our list, including the black-throated wattle-eye. The next morning, we awoke before sunrise to take a little drive through the misty landscape.
Hello, helicopter tails. Morning. We are on our last day here in Maputo Special Reserve, and we have woken up before the sun, and we have found our way back to the viewpoint to watch the sunrise. And that there is the sunrise over there. But it's a beautiful little morning. It was a bit chilly, and you can see both this lake and that lake. And it's very pretty.
The view was indeed exquisite, and we watched the peaceful scene of a fisherman about his work. The most exciting sighting, however, was yet to come. As we drove back to camp, we spotted a fluffy tail dashing across the road into the bush. Upon closer inspection, we caught sight of the owner of the tail, a jackal. Its fluffy tail, grey colouring, and broader face appeared different to the usual black-backed jackal we've seen many times before, leaving us to conclude that it must have been a side-striped jackal. A yellow-throated longclaw was another lifer, picking its way through the bush. We also heard and then saw a large bush pig having a drink at a pond, but unfortunately we didn't catch it on film.
This is the final evening of our 7-night stay. Well, we have really enjoyed staying here. This was an amazing campsite.
And it's such an unspoiled beach, unspoiled patch of nature.
The game density is quite low, but
we saw some interesting things. Like we saw this morning a side-striped jackal, never seen one of those before, and we saw a bush pig.
But this is us, and this is our final evening. Bye. We are having our last evening walk along the beach in Ponta Mbane. Hoping for some turtles. There is amazing full moon light. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Full moon on one end, sunset on the other end. It's just amazing.
We walked along the shoreline in the twilight under the full moon, but saw only bluebottles and crabs, and no turtles on the beach. The tide was low, exposing the rock pools along the shoreline, teeming with crabs and fish.
And that's our last welcome mat. Bye-bye campsite.
The next morning, we were up before daybreak again. This time to strike camp and set off back to the gate. Along the way, we found a few nocturnal creatures, another jackal, and this nightjar. The gorgeous sunrise made us regret not going for more early morning drives during our stay. Lake Shinkute was filled with water birds who were also making the most of the early morning.
Hello. We are on our last morning here. We're actually on our way out. We have driven around about 3/4 of the way out, past Lake Jankuti, and we are on the plains of the elephants. Yeah, we're very sad to go. We are very somber this morning.
Thank you for watching Dogs of the Wind. We hope you've enjoyed this tour of the Maputo Special Reserve. We will definitely be back to Mozambique soon.
I also saw a crane, but also didn't really know.
A heron.
Heron, crane, could be either.
Probably a heron.
I don't know. You know, you could always edit that out.
Okay.
Anyway, I will admit on camera right now that I started smoking meat.